Boom. Hello everybody, and welcome to another Buildcast live with the Nemesis Arcane Archer this time. I think we'll be trading off between the Nemesis and Scorpion until one of them comes out, and then we'll start doing something new. We're getting toward the end of the road, or at least seeing a light at the end of the tunnel for the Nemesis guy here. I am currently level 48 or 49, so we're getting close to that soft level cap of 50. Generally for... Oh, there goes Edge of Oblivion. Yeah, we have like -5 armor right now. Hopefully we don't get attacked by like ash creepers or something like that. Yeah, so I've been a busy guy. Did a whole lot of level progression on this guy. So for this stream, I think we're going to be focusing on rounding out the rest of the major skills that we have. Some of them we got to level 90 already, so that the training isn't really going to be too much of a concern, but we're still working on Conjuration with Fallion. I think we're 5 or 6 levels away from reaching level 90 on that. So right now I'm running the Mage Stone to get that leveled up as fast as possible. We're also going to be working on enchanting. There's going to be a little bit of crafting grind here, but we can use that time to talk about other concepts for this build, I think. Also some smithing too. We need to get smithing capped out so that we can get our end game gear. Got to get that dead thrall. Dead thrall would be great. We're not really a necromancer with this one, which for like a magus inspired build is kind of weird, but I think we'll save that for a necromancer build at some point, right? This one I really want to focus on the synergy between the warlock witch bolts and their conjurations. So yeah, right now to get conjuration leveled up, we are working on using our magisters, which are not great. They have some good spells, but they are very flighty, I guess, as in they like to fly away from the action. And this build concept really needs a good meat shield, and Yoramir is not that. So I might be struggling a little bit. If things get worse, we'll have to switch back to Ravagors or Temple Grims. Yeah, Necromancer Arcane Archer would be an awesome build too, because of the there's that perk where if you hit a corpse with a conjured weapon before you raise them, they become empowered. Now you're giving me ideas. All right. First things first, though. So the other thing we're going to be working on outside of leveling those skills is we are going to be working on increasing favor with Hermaeus Mora and gaining devotee status of that. Now there are a couple of ways to do that. First is to find Eldritch pages and to bind them into Eldritch tomes. I got 5 pages of a couple of them right now. So basically we just gotta go around killing people and things and hoping to find Eldritch pages on their corpse. You can also read skill books to increase favor with Hermaeus Mora, and we can also become Hermaeus Mora's champion, which is why we're in Soul Slime right now, right outside of the Temple of Mirak. So we are going to be hunting down Mirak, or Mirak. I don't know why I'm calling him Mirak. Mirak. In between training with Fallion and crafting up some stuff to gain levels there. We really need that endgame gear because Altmer, they have an inherent debuff to armor rating, but they have Meerkat indeed. But they do have buffs to any enchantments on that armor. So we're gonna have to work with that a little bit. Survivability has been an issue for this character precisely because of the armor debuff. Things like enemy archers that are shooting us from afar while we're concentrating on the melee attackers have really been the bane of this build. As well as like enemy mages, even though with alchemy and stuff we're able to sort of increase our resistances enough that we're able to survive those, but it's really been enemy archers that have been the real pain point. Mostly mages coming up, maybe some Draugr archers. Ooh, that was caps lock. I don't know where the caps came from there. Ooh. All right, so let's get right to it. And this is a collaborative build, guys. So if you have any ideas for this that fit into the concept, I'm trying not to make this too wide of a concept. Please do shout them out. I feel like having wide build concepts kind of diminishes the unique identity of that build concept. So we are focused on shooting bad guys with our Eldritch Blast and our Witch Bolts. Right now we have Witch Bolt hooked up to Lion's Arrow. And once we bind a spirit, which when an enemy dies while under the influence or under the effect of a Witch Bolt, we bind a spirit and then we can cast a powered up conjuration. God, these Magisters are not making me happy. Might have to switch back to Ravagore pretty quickly because those Ravagers did not, or those Magisters did not, kind of got a mind of their own. Would be good using a nice lesser standing stone mod, and ritual stone adds a third summon and potentially 5 with ordinator conjuration mixed. Okay, so that was, what was Aurora or something like that? Or that was his old one.
Defeating Draugr is to stay low and duck under their shouts. That, or cover your ears.
Okay, so yeah, I'm at the point right now, level 49, almost level 50, that I don't want to add or remove mods from this and start the character concept over, you know? But that is something to keep in mind for a future concept. I'm using Andromeda right now, and I'm kind of locked into that one. What does the lesser stone mod use for the ritual stone? Adds a third summon and potentially 5 with ordinator conjuration mix. Okay, cool.
Listen to me. Isra, I'm here to help you. It is not safe.
So right now I am using Edge of Oblivion. And since this is going to be a level 50 build, I gotta be kind of frugal with how I'm spending these perks. So I've decided not to go too far up the conjurations tree outside of the bound bow stuff. So I might have to stop at Edge of Oblivion for the one additional minion. March of Oblivion is a really expensive perk. I mean, it's worth it if you've been investing in magic, but since this is a hybrid build, we have archer and we have conjuration and light armor and things like that to take care of. I really had to spread my attribute points a little more thin, so that March of Oblivion perk isn't going to be as effective with my level of magic, right? Pretty basic, but you never know, especially using Edge of Oblivion. Okay. Even Star, that's the one. I was thinking Even Star was the race overhaul, the V plus race overhaul.
Or avenge them.
Which one is the race overhaul?
I am unsure. Something has taken control of most of the people of Solstein.
I'll have to look into it. Yes, that is the purple streak coming out of the arrows when I fire them. That is Witch Bolt, which does a lot of damage over time, especially if I popped a Morning Star. There you go, it's the other star one. Yeah, Imperius is the one I'm using. Imperius is the full overhaul.
Then you and I both have reason.
Okay, I'll have to look into the V plus stuff.
Let us go. There is nothing more I can do here. The tree stone and my friends are beyond my help for now. We need to find a way into the temple below.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and let NFF manage her. Indeed. Okay.
Find them.
Oh, jeez.
I knew it. Mira, help me!
Getting hung up on the terrain already.
Is that your best?
Oh my god. Magisters were never a concern for them because they never followed me. Freya's down already? No. Yormir goes down too easy. Okay, so in narrow corridors, the Magister is actually not too bad there, right? get the light stuff and use it for enchantment fodder. We're gonna need that a little later. They look cool. Like the face and everything is awesome. Looks like he's supposed to be holding a staff there, but that has disappeared. It probably appears during battle. Yeah, they look awesome. And like I said, in narrow corridors, they seem to be really effective. But out in the open, they fly away too easily. Leave me to my own devices.
Are you ready to help me now? We should not delay. We should check the
Excuse me.
before heading further into the temple.
Okay, any good stuff in here? We'll take the... What are you doing over there? So how's everybody doing today? Hope you're doing well. I see Magus has a big swollen pink hand that he's waving it at everybody with. Probably too much fapping. That's what happens when you fap too much. Your hand gets all pink and swollen, among other things. All right, so another tactic that I have for sort of enclosed spaces like this is that Kinreeve Swordstorm spell from Arcanum. Too much faffing apparently made me sick a bit too. Either that or allergies. Yeah, allergies are becoming a crazy thing lately. Oh, all right, I'm getting a little... Like everybody I know who hasn't had allergies in their life is now all of a sudden getting them.
What can I do for you?
You can hear me coughing and sputtering over here. I get allergies all the time. Part of it is because of the air quality here in the Phoenix area. Just getting worse and worse over time. But also just when we get rain, things grow out here in the sun that normally doesn't. And we've gotten a little bit of rain this week, so I might be coughing and sputtering a little bit more than normal. Really need to get back to plant come in the air. Love is literally in the air. Yeah, indeed. Just spraying their seed all over us. I mean, we need that stuff to survive, right? If we don't have plants, we don't have oxygen, so...
Your wish is my command.
All right. Jesus. Okay, so here's the Kinreeve Swordstorm here. Starts off as one. Now this actually does damage. You got to concentrate on it for several seconds to get it fully powered up. But once you do, you'll see like some purple smoke. There we go. Now we got the purple aura up there. Now this is going to stay up for a little bit. This works really well in enclosed spaces.
Is someone there? Now we end this.
And it does a ton of damage, but you got to stay in close for this.
There was no other way it could end.
And I think this just goes really well with the whole bound weapon aesthetic. Having and so this is a Nemesis. This build, this entire build is inspired off of Magus's armor, by the way. I feel like I need to put a link in the description of of the video. So this, like the light armor, we need to get in and mix it up a little bit. Otherwise the light armor is kind of useless. There's some nice mobility perks, but this guy is more of an arcane archer than a sort of like speedy acrobat combat archer, I think.
Ruins. Traps can be anywhere, and there will likely be many. Mirak was trying to take
So this
power
guy's more focused
and
on
protect himself
conjuring
in the
things from
process.
Oblivion. Cheap self-plug. No, not a problem at all, Magus. Definitely, I am going to, as soon as I catch a break here, I'm gonna add the link in the description of the video. I want this armor to get like 1 million downloads and endorsements. Okay, so now here's this whole thing again.
Imagine the kinds of things that happen
Still
in
haven't
this
found an
dream.
Eldritch page on any of these cultists.
What tortures did they suffer at Mirak's hands? Was it in service to the dragons, or for his own purposes? Look up there. I think I see something.
It does get a little busy with the effects on screen there, doesn't it? Okay, we'll get a powered up Magister to help us out here. And yeah, you can actually see the difference between the powered up Magister and the regular one. The regular one is just very corporeal, right? And then this one is a little more ethereal. The powered up ones always have another effect to them. And actually, let me see now what the difference is. For Ravagors, I know they have a vampiric drain effect within a certain radius, so they make very good meat shields. For the blah, 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 blah. For the Warlock, the Magister regenerates 25 magic per second, so they just are able to cast their spells more frequently. Well, they'll be able to cast their spells non-stop they don't ever have to take a break. 25 magicka per second is quite a bit. So yeah, and each one of these gives a special boon if they're powered up with a spirit. Sweet new armor. You're working on 2 more yeah, I saw the one that you posted in your Discord. That one looked really cool. And yeah, Hauser had it right. I feel like it's kind of like more Fallout themed. Just kind of like a little more apocalyptic, I guess. It looked really cool. Let me go ahead and copy that link address. Throw it down in the description here. Oh no, I already have it. It's already there. Cool, cool. All right. Good job, Karn from the past. Good job, buddy. Okay, let's loot these bodies now, see if we ended up with any Eldritch pages. Bone meal. Ah, there's an Eldritch page. Got to make sure to read these, otherwise they don't count toward your favor with Hermaeus Mora. Hormaeus. All right, let's go ahead and get some resistances going. I think I have more resistance potions. I hope I do. Otherwise, this is going to be a rough journey through this temple. I have fire, shock, and magic right now. Yeah, so let's go ahead and throw down some frost resistance there too. That's awesome. All right, easy with the friendlies there though, Magister. So they're not great at meat shields, but they are great for crowd control at least. That is awesome. Well done, Anai. Well done. Where'd the other one go? Oh, there are 2 more over here. Wooden Staff of the Ancestors. This is one of those gnarled ones from the Creation Club content in the Anniversary Edition. The other one is more Skyrim. Nice. Okay. Left-handed Jedi I have, and it is amazing, and I want to do a whole build concept based on that. In fact, I am super stoked for Diablo 4, and my character is going to be, my first one is going to be a rogue, and it's going to be using that that barrage core skill where it just fires like 5 arrows super quick. And so I want to do a Skyrim build concept based off of my Diablo 4 build. So I want to use the Evil Mastermind armor along with the spell shot repeater, and I want to add some other things to it. Maybe Shadow Dance for mobility in combat. Yeah, it's an awesome spell. I love Arcanum. It's such an awesome mod. It's got a lot of bugs in it, but if you know which spells and which areas to avoid, it becomes much less of an issue. There are some stability, like it does add some modded areas in where it causes a crash to desktop. I don't know if they've had an update recently for that. Yeah, there's the what was it called? Yeah, there's a shock version too, but it doesn't fire as many arrows. It's like every 3rd arrow or something, it'll do like a shock ball or something. Spark shot, that's the one. But those spells, you can like create an entire build concept off of just one spell. I love it. In fact, I want to do a build concept off of the bound tomahawk, because you can actually throw it as a projectile, and you hook that up to spell scribe. In fact, I want to do like a Stormhawk build, is what I'm going to call it.
Yes.
So he's going to be like a shamanistic, sort of like a spell sword type guy, using the conjured tomahawk. And then I'm going to hook spell scribe up to lightning strike from Forgotten Magic Redone, so that we get a lightning strike with whatever gets hit by that thrown tomahawk. It's going to be awesome. I'm stoked for it. I got so many build ideas, so little time. Summoned Clanfear. That's a good summon from Odin.
Your wish is my command.
Hey, the End King. Welcome, welcome, buddy. We are just here in Mirax Temple. We are doing the Dragonborn quest line, trying to make Uncle Hermamora happy. Looking for Eldritch pages as well. We'll be doing some skill leveling too with conjuration, smithing, and enchanting. Which the crafting stuff isn't too exciting, but it is very core to this concept.
Where's my sword? I think I forgot my sword.
You are a mirror. I hear him.
Who's there?
I don't see him. Oh, he's all the way up there. I went with a conjure bow when I made Nightwolf. Oh man, you're doing Diablo characters too. I was gonna do a Nightwolf character. So yeah, the tomahawk and the bound bow with Nightwolf, that would be awesome. Along with a hand axe and a maul, excellent. Yeah, there are other Mortal Kombat characters I want to make concepts off of after Scorpion is done. Sadly, the Scorpion Let's Play series is not getting very good viewership. I'm gonna keep up with it just because, hold on. Okay, we're all good. Just because the editing experience it's giving me is very helpful. I can use the skills that I'm gaining during that Let's Play, adding like narrative and splicing in Mortal Kombat gameplay and stuff, and the little toasty stuff that we do in every episode. So yeah, it's kind of like an Easter egg. Every episode of the Scorpion Let's Play, we have the little toasty dude pop up once. So it's kind of a fun game to see when he's gonna pop up during the course of that episode.
Now
Hey, Gail's here. Welcome, Gail. Hope you're off to a good start this weekend. Now that we got a spirit bound, let's go ahead and get a powered up Magister. So I've only used the Magisters before in wide open areas where they're less effective. As I said, they tend to run away a lot and not come back. But in these more confined areas... Okay. It's been a while since I saved, too. Oh no, all the way back at the beginning! Criminy. So I have actually disabled the Shadow of Skyrim. It's fun to play with, but your playthrough has to be focused on that, right? And right now I'm focused on fleshing out this build concept. So if I'm running some kind of alternative death mod, especially something like Shadow of Skyrim that tends to be disruptive, give you debuffs and things like that, and take away your armor or your gear, then it's kind of a pain. So I've disabled that for now, just through the MCM. Later on, if we kind of hit the goals that we're trying to hit in the stream, maybe we'll turn that back on and do some actual gameplay focused on it. But until then, we're just going to focus on Mr. Nemesis here.
I shall follow you when you're ready.
I think it was Enigmatic Nomad, right? That on one of the archives for this character, you suggested something about Void, which I like, because when you conjure these weapons in, you're actually conjuring them from Oblivion, right? And I don't want to put Oblivion in the name because I use Oblivion in the name of my Oblivion class builds, of which I will do more.
Right behind.
So I do like using Void. I was thinking the Void Nemesis, because I want Nemesis in the name too, to promote Magus's armor set.
Find them. Is someone there? Now we end this.
Freya, you guys are all in the way. Void Nemesis Hunter. How about the Nemesis Void Hunter?
And so it ends.
That kind of has a little better ring to it. Okay, we did get another Eldritch page though. That's good. And I'm gonna go ahead and probably just do a save after every one of these battles, because I don't want to get stuck having to go back. The Nemesis Void Hunter. Yeah, that's kind of cool, because he is hunting things. He's hunting knowledge mostly. So taking a turn to roleplay aspects of this build, I'm thinking just basics right now is that he is very obsessed with power, gaining power, as most warlocks I think are, right?
And protect himself in the process.
But for the Nemesis, or the Nemesis Void Hunter, he is of the mind that knowledge is power. That's a strong belief of his. So that he is just endlessly seeking knowledge in order to gain power of his own. Hence the whole Hermaeus Mora thing. I think Hermaeus Mora fits well with that.
I do not wish to imagine the kinds of things that happened in this chamber.
No?
Who are the poor souls trapped in this cage? Impressive. Was it worth the effort?
She's impressed by my long jumping abilities. Oh, we got an Icarus fan. I'm an Icarus fan too. How's it going, Icarus? Yeah, that Blight Archon is really cool. I love his kiss tongue. His Gene Simmons. It's your Gene Simmons character concept. He should start a band. All right, let's get some more magisters out here.
Who's there?
Of course, they go hiding behind my... So we have to be careful with our conjurations here because at higher levels and with more perk investment, the bound bows will actually dismiss Daedra. And the warlock minions do count as Daedra. Oh, almost got him. That would have been epic if I could have gotten him. On the way down. Like skeet shooting. I feel like I was talking about something. I don't remember what the hell I was talking about. Oh yeah, the dismiss Daedra.
I will not fall.
So one shot with these guys will dismiss our meat shields. So we got to be careful about that. It's actually much more painful to hit our conjured minions than it is to hit our like real life minions. Because at least they can take a shot or two from our bound bow. God, I'm going to be offloading stuff on Yoramir constantly.
Your wish is mine.
Part of this is because with Imperious, I believe it is, Altmer start off with extremely diminished physical capabilities. So they're mostly all about magic, right? So their health attribute and their stamina attribute is gimped right out of the bat, right out of the gate. So that means that even things like encumbrance, carry weights, and things like that.
You're not going to fire me, are you?
Are going to be nerfed too. So I'm just constantly dropping stuff off with Yoramir. Now, once we get our enchanting going, now I have enchanted the current gear set here. I've upgraded them all to legendary. I'm still only at a 300 armor rating, which is a little less than half of where we need it to be. So we're getting there. And actually, with light armor, fortification potions, we can get that up to 322, which was hardly anything. But once we get some crafting gear going, if I can enchant a set of smithing and alchemy gear, we can start doing some crafting loops on this stuff. And we'll get some light armor fortification on the gear itself. I think we'll be in a much better spot. And we'll have much stronger potions to show for it too. Hey, the wind. Welcome, welcome.
Your wish is my command.
Welcome, welcome. Gotta get the alchemy ingredients. Okay, quick save. All right, let's get some sword storm going, huh? Takes a little while to warm up, but once it gets going, we're looking for the purple aura. There it is. Now it'll stay put. We'll get some new magisters out here too. Oh, so another thing is I used to have all this stuff hooked up to contingency. I've removed it because it was becoming a little bit of a nightmare to manage all that. Because if you have it set to automatically cast, a lot of times you're going to be replacing powered up minions with...
Where's my sword?
Oh, look at it, just delete that Draugr. You're going to be replacing powered up minions with the lesser versions. So I removed that and I put the Shadow Mage spell, Draining Shroud. I hooked that up to the contingency trigger of getting down to 25% health. So if I get taken down to 25% health, it will automatically cast Draining Shroud, which is a powerful absorb health cloak, basically. Oof. Okay. Alright, we do have a Spirit Bound, so let's get a powered up Magister going there. Look for some Eldritch Pages. And some high-level gear for enchantment fodder. We're going to need all the money we can right now, because every time we pay for training at this level, it's going to be like almost 5,000 septums. Let's go back and check for this first Draugr we killed. I don't know about you guys, but I think this concept is pretty badass. It's very, it's a huge visual spectacle. And I feel like it would do well in gameplay showcases. So I'm looking forward to having some, maybe putting together some music videos and stuff of this character. That'll help me level up my editing skills as well. I'd have been here sooner, but they're doing things on the network today. No internet. Ooh, bummer. Yeah, I've had some wonkiness with my internet this week too. Had some connection issues. Sorry, I was getting some... Just want to make sure I'm not hitting an emergency. Wife's just saying, she's alerting me to the fact that she's picking me up a sandwich. She's a keeper. Don't know what I was talking about. Oh yeah, internet. Had gotten disconnected from the work network. I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday a few times, and it was just a pain. My upload speeds were like all the way down in the single digits, or even in the kilobits.
Is someone there?
Which is not great. It's not enough.
I am sorry, but you left me with
for
no
remote
choice.
work. Okay, I want to... Alright. Let's do the lab skeever thing, because this is a really tough area coming up here. This is where I died before. So, I use this trick a lot. I've used it a couple times in a couple different build videos now, but if you use the Mortar and Pestle, either from CACO if you run that, or Hunterborn if you run that, that will actually proc the lab skeever perk in Ordinator. And what that does is it makes potions way more powerful and last way longer. So with the Mortar and Pestle, you have a mobile alchemy station to be able to get this buff whenever you want, as long as you're not in combat. So I use that and then pop like a Fortify health, regenerate health, Fortify Magicka, which is becoming less of a concern now that my conjuration level is high and I've perked into the mastery of that reduces costs of conjuration spells, which is basically the only thing we cast manually. But have it on there anyway, because with the Altmer, the lower your stamina and your Magicka get, the more that your armor rating and elemental resistances, your magic resistance, is decreased, because it actually decreases your physical and magical resistances in order to increase the regeneration speed of that until you get back up to full. So keeping your attributes topped off is very important for an Altmer with Imperius installed. Who is the Khajiit in the black robes always at inns? Devagara is his name. I think he's from a mod I had, but not sure which. That's not ringing a bell. I don't think it's from Interesting NPCs, because I don't recognize him. You might be right, but he doesn't sound familiar to me. And I've been running that mod for a long time. Could be wrong. Don't have that mod, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. You ever wonder how you always find current up-to-date septums in these? Yeah, there's actually a mod for that. You'd be finding, actually, I'm not sure what it is for Solstheim, but in ancient Nordic runes, they're heralds. Because King Harold, I guess, was the king during the Dragon Priest times. Yeah, you'd think you'd be finding like Confederate money or something, indeed. Yeah, there is definitely a mod. You are correct, Wind. I used to run it. It's good for people who are really concerned with are really concerned with immersion and deep role plays and things like that, but it doesn't really do anything for game balance. For me, I was happier using that plug-in spot for something else.
Omega, protect me.
Yoramir, get out of the way, you goon.
Victorious again.
Ah! After all that. I tried to dodge out of the way. Didn't quite get there though. Oh, this spot is great. Okay, so one thing about this build, especially with the Sword Storm spell that I got going right now, there's a lot of shit on the screen, right? A whole lot of stuff that's getting right in the way. Along with all the followers and minions, it's hard to see, especially when you have like these deadly traps. There's all kinds of stuff that you can step on and die out of nowhere, right? That's one reason I'm making limited use of this Sword Storm. It's really damn cool, it's really damn powerful. But it's also screen pollution.
What's that? And so it ends.
Getting a little hungry, it seems. Ooh, another Eldritch page. Very nice, very nice. 84% with Hermaeus Mora. Let's see. Am I hungry enough for it to be causing a debuff? No, still good. All right, quick save here, just because that was that was a real mess. God, traps everywhere. King Harold reigned after the fall of the Dragon Cult. During his time, only some secret remnants in the south of the rift remained. The location at which the dragon priest Ragat is. Okay. Yeah, what's that called? Like Forelhost? Ruggle.
I'm not going down there.
Really?
It would be foolish to attempt it.
You have the
You
armor.
have a much better chance than I to make it through these traps.
All right.
I have no doubt that lever turns these blades up. I shall wait here for now.
Oh, geez. I dodge rolled right into the middle of it. I thought it was a lot closer than it was. Yoramir. There goes the Magisters, too. Oh, no. So tense. All this stuff is almost approaching WoW territory. Yeah, kinda, huh? I mean, I haven't played WoW since its like release back in, oh geez, that must have been like, what, 2003 or something like that? But I do get what you mean about like the MMOs. Ooh, got a little bit closer to, got to know Freya a little better than I cared to there. Yeah, the MMO stuff with all the screen effects and everything. I get you. Kingdoms of Amalur gives me WoW and Fable vibes. I have not played KOA yet. It is in my pile of shame. Looking forward to it at some point, but this is not the year for the backlog, that's for sure. I don't know what I'm gonna do, guys. I mean, I've been playing the Street Fighter 6 open beta this weekend, and it's awesome. I'm super stoked for that. The new characters, it's like this really young and fresh vibe. The new characters are all very interesting. They're a lot of fun to play. Online seems to work great if you have a decent connection. So I'm super stoked. I'm an arcade rat from the 90s, right? That's how I grew up. So those arcadey fighting games like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, they will always have a special spot in my heart. So I'm very much looking forward to Street Fighter 6. That comes out on June 2nd. Wasn't there supposed to be like a Switch or something in here? Maybe not. And then Diablo 4. I played the Server Slam server test for that last weekend. Free ebony sword, look at that. Ooh, and a nice shield too. And it was awesome. It was incredible. And I have played a lot of every single Diablo that has come out except for Diablo Immortal. That's just a kind of a cash grab. It seemed like it was a good game, but then the monetization on it was terrible. And both of those are like high time demanding games. Like you're going to be spending a lot of time in both of those games. And then Final Fantasy 16 comes out a couple weeks after that on PS5. Ouch. Okay, we're gonna need some resistances. Definitely resist shock, and I guess we can do a little resist magic. Okay, armor's holding up well there. I can't count how many times I've been one-shotted from an archer in this playthrough.
I do not fear death.
Okay. Let's see if Uncle Hermie has given us any more Eldritch pages. No, doesn't seem like it there. I think there was only one cultist and 2 high-level Draugr in this area. Nothing there. So yeah, I already don't have enough time to play the games that I want to play. Now there are 3 like must-have games for me coming out this. Wow. She looks like she's suffocating a little bit. Coming out all in the same month.
I've got all your equipment cleaned.
So I'm gonna have no problem keeping busy until Starfield comes out. That's for sure.
Right behind you.
Tekken Tag tournament? Yeah. That's a great one. I actually played Tekken Tag Tournament 2 competitively. I joined like some local tournaments. Had some good wins. No, I had never won first place, but I was competitive for sure.
To turn on his masters, but his path seems to have been a cruel one.
Tekken 7 was kind of an obsession too, with how much they supported that game for so long. All the cool new characters that they released for that. Oh, and they announced Mortal Kombat 1 is like a reboot of the Mortal Kombat series. That's coming out this year too in September. Like, what the crap, guys? It's like, stagger these games a little bit so I have time to play them all. Okay, cool. We got another Eldritch page. Okay, that's like another percentage point of... another single percentage point of Hermaeus Mora favor. I'm almost like glad and like relieved that Redfall was such a mess, right? Because I'm a huge Arcane fan as well. And I was like, okay, how am I going to fit all this in?
There was no other way it could end.
Ooh, wow, yeah, they are flowing, these Eldritch pages are now. Nice, almost 90% now. That's awesome. We're knocking on the door of 90% now. And devotee status at 100. Okay, let's watch out for traps now. Let's do another Magister while the spirit is bound.
Interesting. This may be worth exploring.
So coming off of the Triumvirate Druid build, that build was very minion heavy, and it ended up being like not very active in combat. So I really wanted to play a character that was more active in combat, and this one is. It has minions, right? But you're constantly shuffling them as you bind spirits and things like that. Constantly casting both summon and bound bows. So it ends up being like very active, even with like the combat archery gameplay style. It gives you things to do in combat, whereas the Triumvirate Druid was kind of like, okay, we're gonna channel these summons and just kind of let them do their thing, and I'm gonna try to find openings. But the whole time you have to be concentrating on those summons. By the way, the Triumvirate Druid build guide is doing quite well. It's landed me a whole bunch. I think I've gotten like close to 20 new subscribers this last week, that's like my best week ever in terms of subscriber count, which is awesome. I thought there were more Draugr out here too. Maybe not. And the Triumvirate Druid build guide has been my best performing video so far in terms of how long it's been out versus how many views it's gotten and how much interaction it's getting too. It's actually outpacing the Shadow Mage guide, the Shadow Ninja guide.
Is someone there? I thank you for your protection.
Now, with all these particle effects and magical effects and everything that's on the screen, we had some stability issues playing the Nemesis Arcane Archer. Last time we played a couple weeks ago, and I'm fully expecting a crash or two. I've been playing a lot on this character, on this save throughout the week, and I have not had a single crash with him on my own, but now while we're streaming, it might be too much for the system to handle. Hey, James Ansel, welcome. Never managed to catch one stream? Well, welcome. I'm glad you made it. We like to have fun here, I think. If nothing else, you get to feel a little more collaborative with the next build concept here.
How much deeper can this be? I had
That's
been
what she
told
said.
that Mirak's power was
What's
great,
that?
but to have
Is
built
something
so
ahead?
large a temple,
Bandits?
it cannot be
Beasts?
much farther now.
Where's my
I
sword?
feel it in my bones.
I think I forgot my sword.
Be more Draugr. Hopefully the sword storm holds up here.
I had heard
Oh,
Mirak
it's not.
had turned against the
Okay,
dragon
whatever.
cult, but to display the remains in such a manner as this.
Let's get some magisters out here first.
Brace yourself. Who's there?
Too dusty. Can't see.
I do not fear death. I thank you for your protection, Armor.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's this build definitely is not lacking for visual spectacle. That's for sure. And it is very active, especially compared to the druid.
The evil in this place must be out.
Was that it? 1, 2. No Eldritch pages in any of these corpses. Maybe there's one here that I didn't look at. Maybe not. The gatekeeper. That's the one that I was missing. Kjoramir.
We heading out?
Mr. Pack Mule. I wouldn't be looting as much as I am, except that I need enchantment fodder in order to level up the enchanting skill. It's one of the core skills for this build, and we're going to need it for our endgame gear, especially if we're going to be
Your
hitting that
wish is my command.
armor cap. Tekken tag with Lei and Hwarong. Oh, nice. You like the mashy ones, huh? With like the long strings and stuff. Yeah, that's cool. Don't need the helmet. I would like to loot the Draugr though, without trying to loot their stuff. Yeah, that one's empty. Let's see, for Tekken Tag 1, I was a Brian Fury, Paul Phoenix guy. I like the impact characters in the fighting games. So for Street Fighter 6, I am going to be maining Marisa. She's the new hulking juggernaut pancration fighter. Sort of like MMA styled, like MMA Spartan styled. It's gonna be awesome. The impact from that character is just like those big heavy charged punches and stuff, and like the command grab that she has where she
Impossible. There must
wrestles
be
you to the
something
ground
more.
and then
Look
just
around.
destroys the
I
back
will
of
let
your
you know
head
if I find
with her
anything in the
gigantic
dining
fist.
room.
It's just awesome. I can't wait to be doing that to noobs online, you know? So once we hit level 90 on Conjuration, we're going to be done with training for this build. We will still have leveling to do in both smithing and enchanting. I already have alchemy up to level 100. Have I gotten a level up yet? Yes, I have. So once we level up, we're going to be at the soft cap level 50. Which is where I'm going to end the build, I think. Well, at least only use 50 perks.
I knew it. A secret passage.
And from
in the
there,
dining
we're just
area
going to be
opened
fleshing
up.
out
This
endgame
must be-
gear.
Let us move quickly.
Things like what standing stone to use, which shouts to use will be a big one. Which reminds me, I got to be making better use of Whirlwind Sprint and Unrelenting Force, because I can cast shouts with full hands, right? That's one thing you can't do with spells. It just gives you an extra thing that you can do while you're focused on your bound bow. And there goes Edge of Oblivion. Marissa is clear. Yes, and I also want to do a Marissa build. Absolutely. She's an Imperial, but she's huge. Well, she's also Greek, I think, right? Like Haster. But yeah, I'll be doing a Marissa build once that comes out. And I'm spending more time on that. I have to keep the channel alive. I have to play Skyrim, and one of my like addictions is doing builds inspired from other games in Skyrim. So yeah, Marissa will be something like the Imperial Juggernaut or something. It'll be an unarmed, heavy armored character, which is going to be kind of interesting, right? Because when do you do an Ordinator unarmed build that isn't light armored, right?
I do not suspect that will be the case the further we go. Be on your guard.
So that'll happen. And I'll use things like race menu to make her taller than even like Altmer, which is not the case usually for Imperials. I'm gonna deck her out in that Spartan Imperial heavy armor garb too. It's gonna be awesome. So we have my Diablo 4 Rogue coming at some point. We also are gonna have the Marissa Imperial Juggernaut coming. Oh, damn it. Some fun stuff. So the Rogue inspired build is going to be a little later because that is technically another arcane archer, and another arcane combat archer, and I don't want to have all my builds start feeling homogenous, right? I want there to be a good diversity of a bunch of different kinds of builds. And not do stuff that's too close to each other. I think the next one it'll either be the Imperial Juggernaut, the Marissa flavored one, or we're going to do an original concept, which is a Stormcloak assassin called the Stiger. Which will be basically a scout from Oblivion. So light armor, sneak, one-handed, block, and smithing. But we'll add in some shaman spells, shaman flavored spells. So maybe some like ghostly conjurations, some totems from Triumvirate. And he's gonna be kind of a... Here he is. A hybrid warrior assassin. And I want to use the Kinjal from the somewhat historically accurate weapon pack, because it kind of reminds me of a saber cat, and for roleplay purposes the saber cat will have like a big influence on that character. So I think I'll do another another vote on the channel. That went over well. We had a lot of participation on that poll that I put between the Scorpion buildcast and the Nemesis Arcane Archer. So I'll do another one of those, and we'll do it between the Imperial Juggernaut, aka Marissa, and the Stormcloak assassin, the Stiger. Okay, we are debuffed now from Edge of Oblivion. The Magisters have left us. Might consider some fortification potions for conjuration as well. Okay, it doesn't matter. We're headed to Apocrypha anyway.
There are dark magics at work here. Ready yourself. This book, it seems wrong somehow.
Oh, but it feels so right.
Not. It may be what we see.
For a warlock, for our nemesis, this black book is like, ooh. May as well be like, you found your dad's Playboy stash or something, right? Especially for a Hermaeus Mora warlock. Nordic is the assassin inspired by saber cats. That almost reminded me of Victor Creed.
Who are you to
Victor
dare
Creed.
set foot here?
Oh, Sabretooth, right? From the X-Men?
You are Dragonborn. I can feel
Now
it.
you're speaking the language of a
And
child from the
yes.
90s. With that Saturday
You have
cartoon.
done little
That was great. That still holds up
killing
today. You can watch it on the
dragons.
Disney Channel.
You have no
and of course the
idea
animation
of
is
the
a
true
little
power a Dragonborn can
dated. But the art style, that Jim Lee art
This
style
realm
holds up today,
is beyond.
and the writing was actually really
You have
good. The
no
stories
power here.
they tell in that show
And
are
it is
great.
only a
They're
matter
deep.
of
They
time
explore some
before
more
Soul's
like
time is
adult
also mine.
themes.
I already control the minds
They're
of
awesome.
these people.
Still recommend it.
Soon they will finish building my temple, and I can return home. Send him back where he came
Those Jim Lee
from. He can await my arrival.
character
with the
designs
rest
for
of
the
Andrea.
X-Men in the 90s, that's like the most iconic superhero, like the most iconic superhero costumes like ever, in my opinion.
What happened to you? You read the book and then it seemed as though you were not really here. I could see you, but also see through you.
Not really sure. I saw Marak on a dragon.
Where is he? Can we reach him? Can we kill him?
Kind of spawned in the middle of a seeker circle jerk there.
This is a dangerous
They
thing.
pelted me with their blasts
We
all
should
at once.
return to my village and show this to my father. Perhaps Thorn can make sense of what is going on.
Thorn, huh? Alright.
Come, there looks to...
Hey, there's Haster. We were just talking about a Greek-themed character. We're either gonna have it. Oh, that's awesome because that's Stormcloak versus Imperial also. So I don't know if you've been keeping up, Aster, with Street Fighter 6, but the character that I'm going to play when that comes out in a couple weeks is going to be Marisa, who is Greek Pancration inspired, sort of like MMA character. And I want to make a Skyrim build off of it.
Way out through here.
So we were talking about, Greek inspired characters a little bit. Thought you should know. Love the way she says, "Can we kill him?" Freya's a great character. I really like Freya in this game. Does she become like a follower later on, like that you can just go recruit and have adventures with later on? I'm sure you can with mods and things like that, but I'm just not sure if she was that way. Oh, I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? I think that there's an easier way out. Yes, you can take her with you in the vanilla game. Thank you, Gail. Been so long since I played vanilla. Actually, no, that's not true. I do play vanilla on my PS5. Well, vanilla plus the AE content, right? But I have a lot more hours with the PC modded version than I do in a console version. Fun fact, Pancration was the MMA of the time, indeed. Yeah, and she's kind of doing the MMA style thing. As it utilized both striking and wrestling techniques. Bad thing is that the material and the teaching have been lost. Oh, really? Because Pancration is still like a thing, the contest anyway, even though it's mostly just
You see that green light?
like off-season
That comes
competition
from
for
the
MMA
inside.
fighters, I think, at this
Where
point.
my
But like
people
Ken Shamrock
located.
was a pancration fighter before he
must be
became a
freed
UFC
soon.
champion, and so was Boss Rutan. You can't do close-fisted strikes to the head, I think, under official pancration rules. But you can kick to the head and you can kick to the body, and you can do open-handed strikes to the head, I believe. I know Rutan from
Some people ask me why I
karate
won't
combat.
stick to one job and settle down.
Rutan was Boss
Because
Rutan was
real men spend
a
their
real
lives-
badass back in the day. I mean, he still is, kinda. But that was kind of before MMA evolved to
The
sort of
village is just ahead.
everybody being a
Storm
hybrid
has
fighter.
used his magic to raise a barrier
It wasn't
around
mixed martial arts in terms of now we have a karate guy versus a wrestler, but now it's mixed martial arts as in everybody is a mixed martial artist. Like everybody knows some Muay Thai, everybody knows some wrestling, everybody knows some jiu-jitsu. And obviously you get the guys who specialize in certain things over others, but yeah, back in the day it was more like watching a Street Fighter match where you'd have stylistic matchups, and now it's just like everybody's kind of does the same thing because that's what's proven most
Father,
effective, I think.
I have returned. There is yet hope.
Freya,
Modern pancration is mostly jiu-jitsu techniques plus wrestling plus
is
striking.
there a
Yeah,
way to free our people?
No,
it's evolved like
but I have
everything
brought
else, I
someone
guess.
who
But it
has
is sad
seen
that
things.
like the original
He has confirmed
knowledge
that
has been
Mira
lost.
is indeed behind the suffering of our people.
I
Sambo
fear
is basically modern day pancration.
But
Yeah,
how is that
Sambo
possible?
is
After
more
all
of like
this
the
time.
Russian equivalent, I think.
I fear there is too much we do not yet know.
Please.
But it's kind of like
That's
judo
all.
with more wrestling. It's like Eastern European jiu-jitsu. Studied Shotokan back in college. Shotokan's cool. That stuff gets rough too. That's pretty hardcore stuff. What am I supposed to do here? Talk to Storm.
So you have seen things, yes. My magic grows weak.
Shotokan
and
is
so
the
does
Ken and
barrier
Ryu
around our
martial
village.
art.
Time is short.
Catch wrestling
Tell me
is
what you
basically
know.
wrestling with submissions. It's all good stuff. I love one-on-one competition in any form, but like even like sumo wrestling. Tennis is awesome too.
Really?
In my older age, I've been playing pickleball with the wife, and one of my favorite ways to play that is like have like my wife and one of her friends like on the opposite side of the court, and then they play doubles against me, and I'm just running all over the place,
Speak of that place.
having the time of my life, trying to run down
Fought at the temple.
baseline shots and everything.
Dragons burning it to the ground in rage. They speak also of something worse. than
Did 3 years of
dragons
freestyle
buried
and
within.
6 years of BJJ. Nice.
Difficult to imagine. But
I've been.
It means what I feared has
I did
come to pass.
BJJ for 12 years.
Iraq was
Maybe
never
more.
truly gone. And now has returned. If you could
And it got to
go
the point,
this place
my
and
coach was
see
more judo based, right? So we would be
like
drilling
Iraq?
throws
Are
like
you
every
dragonborn?
single class. So I would have to be thrown to the mat 50 times a night with every class. And the inflammation of my body couldn't keep up. I couldn't recover fast enough. But I have discovered a Gracie Baja class that's like less than 5 minutes away from where I live. That's the other issue with my old school too, is that it took 30 to 40 minutes to drive there every night.
Then perhaps you are connected.
So
with it.
I've been considering
The
like a
old
return,
tales say
especially
that
if it's more
he too
ground based, which I think
dragonborn.
Baja is. A little less hardcore with the judo stuff, a little more focused on the ground game, which is less impactful, and I would be able to maintain that a lot better. So I've been thinking about
I
getting
am
back into it. I would love to go back and
It
get
may
my
mean
get
that
my
you
black
could
belt.
save us,
I was
or
a
it
I was a
may
high
mean
purple.
that
I
you
was
could
getting very
bring
close to
about
getting
our
promoted to brown belt when I
But our
quit.
time here is running out.
So
The
I would
few
say
of
maybe
us
another
left
4 or 5
free
years of
control cannot
if even
protect
that, of,
ourselves
like,
so much longer.
focused
You must
training.
Go to Saring's watch.
And especially
Learn
at my
there the
age
word
and
that
weight,
Iraq
I am in
long ago.
pretty good
And
shape.
use that
So
knowledge on
that
the Windstone.
competition
You may be able to break
category,
the hold
there
of
are
our
less people in it,
there
and they
and
are,
free them from control.
especially at my weight and my age, they tend to like not be in as good a shape. Still strong as hell, and you know, an issue if they end up in top position, but if I were able to compete a little more, I could probably get that black belt a little quicker, I think. It's just a goal, I don't know. There's also a boxing gym not too far from here, and I've been meaning to learn more about boxing too. That would be fun. That's definitely less impactful. Getting hit in the face is less impactful than being thrown 50 times a night, that's for sure. Let's see.
Some dark influence wields power over them, forces them to forget themselves and act against their nature.
Sakuraba, yeah, that guy's a beast.
But only during the night.
But the Gracies have a corner on the training market, the jiu-jitsu schools out here in the Southwest, and it's mostly about convenience for me.
The scar will be free.
But there are also 3 major offshoots of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. The one that I was doing was the Megaton one, the Gracie Humaita, which was much more judo based and less ground game based. It's more pure to what's his name? The inventor of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I can't think of his first name. I can think of all his sons. I don't remember. I feel terrible about that.
Much of what was known has been lost.
Helio, that's his name. Yes, yes.
Was dragonborn, and yet he served the dragons.
10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, they do no gi only. Yeah, I'm more of a gi guy.
Very powerful. Then he turned against
I like the traditional stuff better.
It was defeated
No gi is definitely
long ago,
more
but it seems he
practical,
was never
right? For like street fights and self-defense and all that.
Mira, you are dragonborn.
But it's less
as
fun
well.
in competition,
You
I
too
think,
can
and that's
wield
kind of what
this
I'm all about.
power,
It's just
perhaps
fun
to a
and
better
competition.
end. May darkness
I mean,
never touch you.
the best practical technique for self-defense is being 6'4", 230 pounds with a ginormous beard, right? So I'm less concerned about that aspect of it, honestly. But the fun and the competition aspect is more what I'm after, and I feel like for me, the gi techniques and the gi competitions are more fun than the no gi stuff. The no gi stuff, I feel like, is off-season training for MMA fighters or aspiring MMA fighters, and I'm not that. I'm not that at all. Thank God old Helio is not among us anymore. He would be disgraced with these things his children did. You think so? A lot of marketing, I suppose. Yeah, it's become quite a financial empire for sure. You think they've sold out? They've done a lot of good for a lot of people. Saring's Watch. What time is it? 8:35 p.m. All right, how about this? Let's head back to the mainland. We're gonna do some crafting. I know I try to avoid doing crafting on stream, but that's kind of where we're at with this, with progression on this build right now. I need to do some crafting. I need to level up. I need to take some conjuration training. Crafting I need to do to sell enough money to make money for training, both in terms of enchanting and alchemy. I know, so his sons use drugs in official competitions. Also, no one outside the family is allowed to have the highest stand that their system have, and other things I can't recall. Okay, so yeah, there's a purist aspect to it. I mean, things change with time, right? Not always for the better. That's kind of the fundamental reality of entropy in the world that we live in. I know I'd be disgraced by my children finding ways to pay the rent in Brazil. Ooh. Scathing. Well, they're doing a lot better than paying the rent, that's for sure. Especially in Brazil. They're like royalty in Brazil. It's gone way past just needs at this point, but you know, they still do provide value, right? I'm not gonna knock on them. I don't know. I just feel like I'm not in a position to be able to judge one way or another. There's some very strong allegorical evidence that they've helped kids with like bullying and stuff without becoming bullies themselves. It's kind of like the true fundamentals of martial arts with that kind of thing.
Oh,
before you get naked, Yoramir, let's
Did you need something?
get all that stuff that you've been carrying for me. Oops.
Right behind you.
This triumphant music, yeah, indeed. Yeah, no, I agree about the steroids. But to me, no, I'm not even gonna go there. Sorry. I feel like I can't comment on it. So, steroids can be very good for you in moderation and in the right setting, right? I don't think they belong in competition. Do they belong in at least the conversation around whether or not they're useful for general health? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the same way like marijuana was, you know, not too long ago in most of our lifetimes. It was seen as nothing but an illegal drug, and so it was on the same level as something like heroin or meth. And turns out now that it's legal, like many people are using it in very healthy ways. It's been used in healthcare for a long time, especially with things like glaucoma to release pressure on the eyes, and for like an all-natural like pain management, and adding getting like increasing appetite for like cancer patients and stuff. It's been huge. I think there's a conversation to be had about realistic, and it is, steroids are used in the medical industry, right? But I feel like, yeah, I don't know, it's a complicated thing. All these things are so complicated. That's why it's hard for me to take an opinionated stance and say you are wrong about any of this stuff, because once you really learn more about both sides, it becomes such a shade of gray that you can't say, no, this is always wrong. And I feel like just because some of them used steroids does not nullify all the good that they've done for people. Or the contributions that they've made to modern martial arts and things like that. I don't know, a lot of shade of gray. I agree with the medical use for people who experience terrible pain and need them, sure. It is kind of cheating, right? That's, yeah. It's almost like bringing a gun to a knife fight, right? But it was also practical. Those were like unsanctioned, no holds barred fights that they were doing like in basements and stuff before the UFC even came around. All right, I gotta they didn't even know it existed except for like collegiate wrestlers, and they weren't really interested in the MMA game because there was no money in that. It was all about either trying to get in on an NFL team or WWE or something like that if you wanted to make a living as a dedicated wrestler. All right, what am I doing here? Let's see. None of this stuff was able to be disenchanted, so let's go ahead and just enchant the crap out of... Oh, hold on. We gotta unload this. I am running the Mage Stone right now, so that is going to help with... Let's do a headpiece, huh? Archery is still the best I have. This one has taken steroid for asthma for a long time. The downside of taking them is affected heart. Yeah, there's always a trade-off, right? But even with that, along with everything else, is that if it's moderated enough, that side effect can be mitigated. Please do realize I'm not in any way, shape, or form advocating for the use of steroids. It's a really bad slippery slope, and if you feel the need to use steroids, it's probably indicative of some kind of unhealthy type of body dysmorphia or something like that, and probably not the... I mean, if you're using it to, like, for your physique or your performance or whatever. So don't use them unless you gotta. Yeah, but even then, it becomes a trade-off. It's like, okay, am I gonna use it to treat my asthma, or am I gonna put my ticker through the ringer? Are you jacked? No, my brother used to have to take steroids for his asthma, and he didn't get jacked, but his face got bigger. He would gain weight, but it would be like in places you wouldn't expect. His liver dies, so there's well, not much of a choice. We have some of the most fascinating side conversations on these streams, huh? This one started out as a Street Fighter conversation, and how that's coming out soon, and how I'm excited for it. And now we're talking about steroids and the fall of the Gracies. Dillashaw was a monster for sure. He still is. I feel like a lot of these guys, they come back and they're still, you know, mostly who they were. And for a lot of these guys, the steroid, especially for like MMA and sports and stuff, they use it to recover from injuries more so than just to boost their performance. But like logically, it's hard to fault them when like the risk versus reward is so skewed toward the reward that like, okay, if I get caught using steroids, I'm gonna get a slap on the wrist and they're gonna fine me a couple $100,000, but the tens or hundreds of millions of dollars that I'm making instead, more than pays for it, right? It becomes a moral thing at that point. It's like the competition is much less pure at that point, which is the real crime, in my opinion. Because you'll never know if you're, you know, introducing outside substances into a competition. It's like you'll never know who's actually better because of all that. But also at the same time, it's like, who has the better training regimen? Who has the better diet? Like, where is the line between a supplement that aids in muscle growth that's okay and it's from like natural sources or whatever, and steroids? Right? Is it just a classification between an artificial substance and a natural one? What if you are the only one to find some like weird plant in the jungle somewhere that has performance enhancing effects, but you're eating it in a salad, but it gives you an advantage over another person? Is that cheating? And it might have like some health side effects. It might be hard on your heart or something like that. Wasn't made in a lab, but it has the same exact effects. Yeah, I wouldn't say all of them are on steroids, but I think it would be prudent to assume they are. You can almost tell by the physique, right? I don't have sneak yet. It's just some of them are better at their cycles than others. I think is all it comes down to. Better at not getting caught. I also think that it's way too easy to dismiss somebody's natural talent and skill as being all because of the steroids. Barry Bonds, for example, would he have broken the record if he didn't have steroids? Maybe not. Maybe there are some routine fly balls that were turned into home runs because he's got muscles on his muscles. But you take any old Joe off the street, right, and then put a baseball bat in his hands, they're not touching major league pitching at all. You take the average major league baseball player and gave him the same steroids that Barry Bonds was using, they're not coming close to his numbers. There is so much skill and so much talent there that just gets completely discarded because he was caught using steroids. Now, I'm not saying that's not his fault. That is 100% his fault, right? He has nobody to blame for that but himself. But there is a ton of skill and a ton of talent there that is rare and exceptional that just gets thrown out like the baby in the bathwater, right? I got a lot of chat to catch up on here. When I was in uni, our professors were always saying that if we were to take a supplement, it had to be a doctor's recipe. Oh, but okay, so then if you get it from a doctor, it's okay. But if you get it from a coach, it's not? Barry Bonds got his stuff from a doctor. Same thing, but way different doses and application. Sure. It's not the downside of long-term steroid use in sport. It is, and it's also, well, it's a nuance. It's not just the downside of the long-term like health effects, right? It's also purity of competition. It's like, okay, I can go play baseball, right, and become a major league pitcher, but I can have some contraption that shoots the ball at the catcher at 140 miles an hour or 200 miles an hour, and no hitter is going to be able to hit it. Which is like, okay, you're going to win, but there's no spirit of competition there at all. The other thing is the message that you're sending to kids about it, the impressionable minds and all that. Which I think you should probably, if you're going to tell kids not to do something, you have to be very specific about why. Otherwise, you're just going to make them want to do it. Kids are smart. Kids are smarter than anybody gives them credit for. It's the same thing with like drugs and stuff. You can't just say, no, don't do this because I said so.
We've stopped.
You have to be very detailed and very educated about why. With lots of examples and everything like that, right? But yeah, the other part is okay, now our kids are going to start using steroids in high school and college to make, or even younger than that, to try to make their dreams of hitting the big leagues come true for that huge payoff.
Right behind.
And now they're going to be having a heart attack at 40 years old because they've been using steroids all their life. I think that is those two things are the main two concerns. And of course, the life aspect, the life and death aspect is going to overshadow the competitive aspect of it, but they're both concerns. Well, again, we're going back to the medical reasons. Whether or not a doctor prescribes it. But then you have to trust your doctor.
What can I do for you? Take a look.
I think just because they're a doctor doesn't mean they're going to be giving you the right things for the right reasons, right? That's why we have so many malpractice suits and everything. WADA allows you to take specific drugs for health reasons, but you must report it. Yeah. No way he breaks any records without them. If you see his way... Oh, yeah, no, he's not... He's going to have good numbers. He's not going to be breaking the record, no. No, I absolutely agree. But I also don't think you can argue that he was a talentless hack that would be nothing without steroids. He would still be an all-star caliber player. He'd probably be more of a five-tool player. Where is Hyoromir? Jeez, you're taking forever, buddy. You got all my stuff, and I need to sell it.
Right behind.
Mentioned berry pre-juice. No, his name has more amenities than mine. Oh, his has more amenities than mine.
Hello, friend.
Steroids also gives athletes more opportunity to train older athletes. Exactly. Yes, it's longevity. That's part of it too.
The finest weapons and armor. Don't forget to check inside the shop.
And the recovery aspects of it, right? Even if it's not doctor subscribed, you could use the anabolic steroids to recover from a gruesome like knee injury or something in months instead of like years, right?
Let me know if you see anything you like. Hello, friend.
But again, yeah, that's medical instead of performance. But the lines get blurred when you start talking about professional athletes making money off of this stuff. Is it okay to use steroids while recovering from an injury, but then you recover from the injury so fast that they're still in your system when you're ready to play again? I don't know. I don't think so. At least mine hasn't unlocked anything over time. Bo Jackson was not on juice that we know of. I mean, Rafael Palmeiro was a juicer, right? And he didn't even have the body, so I don't... that physique that you would expect.
Welcome to War Maidens. Now don't let the finest weapons and armor. Good doing business with you.
So I mentioned earlier that when you're leveling up speech, the speech skill, it's not about how much gold actually changes hands at a vendor. It's actually the value of the goods being exchanged. So if you don't need the money, you can sell extremely valuable equipment for 0 coin and still get the progression in the speech skill for it. Bo Jackson was a freak, with or without steroids, for sure.
Thor's General Goods. Welcome indeed.
Oh, I'm talking about your Ryx End. Yours has more amenities than mine. I might have an older version. Okay, yeah, most likely. I don't know if there's a newer version. This one's probably a couple years old.
Take a look.
I don't know if he removed some for performance reasons, because Ryx End has been plagued with like performance issues for a lot of people. So he might have like removed stuff just to save on the polygons or whatever. I don't know. UK and Europe takes a stance with steroids. If they're gonna be useful for someone's safety and well-being, that they should be used within a sport use. Oh, really? So they're saying it's okay as long as it's for the betterment of the athletes.
Have anything even?
That could be a slippery slope too. Would LASIK eye surgery be considered performance? Yeah, I mean, so there we go. People surgically enhancing their body, which is what LASIK is. Does that give you an advantage? And how do you enforce that? How are you enforcing that somebody now has 20/20 vision instead of, you know, whatever better than 20/20 is? I don't know what the numbers mean.
So you're an alchemist?
Last time Ryx was updated in yeah, so it's not, you might have a very old version, or maybe you have an updated version that it removes stuff with. I don't know. But even people who are just going for corrective surgery with LASIK end up having better than 20/20 vision. You can't just get LASIK willy-nilly. You have to qualify for it, meaning have bad vision. Right, but then we go back to you're going to find a doctor that's willing to do it for you. Either via bribe or just because he wants your insurance money. Or maybe in one doctor's opinion you need corrective surgery, and in another's you can do fine without it. Speech skill is why I downloaded a cheat mod at some point. The frustration of trying to level that thing. Yeah, I never go out of my way to level it unless I'm doing training at the Bard's College or whatever. But to me, just once you get to a higher level, the price of the goods that you're trading is just like ridiculously high, to the point where you're gonna level up to 100 without even trying eventually. And it gets faster as you go instead of slower as it is with a lot of skills. Okay, I need to mix up some more crazy potions to sell at these alchemists. LASIK is a routine surgery these days, right? Yeah. So, I mean, you can basically decide one day if the doctor has an open time slot for it, an open seat on the surgery bench or whatever. You can decide one day, I want LASIK, and as long as the doctor and the facilities have availability, you can go get it that day. Done and done. So yeah, at the end of the day, I'm not saying steroids good. Go do steroids. I'm also not saying steroids are definitely extremely bad in every situation. I'm saying that the argument is actually quite nuanced. But I think it's someday, if we can develop a drug that keeps us young and mobile and able to enjoy our bodies for a lot longer in our lifetimes, and that they're relatively safe and they have
Be careful.
mild side effects, wouldn't everybody want to take that? Call it steroids or call it something else. Test E but have low T. Yeah, I was on low T medication I want to say 10 years ago.
Steaks fit for a jarl. Come and see my
And it wasn't anabolic, right? It's not steroids. It was just a testosterone booster that got me up to like the high end of normal levels. And man, I got jacked. I was feeling great all the time. My heart was still absolutely fine. It had kind of the same effects of a steroid. I could eat whatever I wanted and I wasn't gaining fat. I was just gaining muscle for it. It was just, everything was turning into protein in my system. It was amazing.
Take a look.
Eventually it stopped working and having like the opposite effect, so I had to stop taking it. And once you get to a certain age, insurance stops paying for it anyway. But if you could have something like that with limited side effects, I mean, it's just for the betterment of everybody's lives, right? Now you go back and say, oh, that's actually steroids. Then it's like, okay, so steroids is still a bad thing. Even longevity has its cons, though. I mean, how long till you get tired, right? Not sure I follow what you mean there, but are you saying that, like, if you burn the candle at both ends for too long, you're gonna burn out, type of thing? Then, yeah, I agree. That's, but if we could, that happens anyway, if we could just get more prolonged vigor out of our lives. Like, if I can, you know, practice jujitsu at like a competitive level when I'm in my 50s or 60s and not have the same like side effects of it, then that would be fun, right? That would be awesome.
My poor Frally, I think Thoron's still alive. Gods be praised.
I guess the difference there comes to, like, I'm just doing this stuff to enrich my life and to have fun and increase the quality of my life. But like professional athletes would be using it to cheat, right? I don't know. It's muddy. Yeah, the testosterone stuff usually isn't. Imagine if gear gets refined so much that they can sell over-the-counter versions of it. Gear? It sounds so sick. It's basically an amplifier enhancement. Yeah, it's again, it's meant to get you to a baseline, but it can be even like the stuff. I was well below baseline on my T levels when I started taking it, and then when I took it, I was like at the top thresholds of normal, right? I almost had high testosterone, but nowhere near the amount of like an anabolic steroid would put you over the line. But it was definitely a performance enhancer for me. Absolutely it was. Even though it put me up to the high threshold from the low nominal threshold, right? Imagine being an immortal being. I think that's a better example. How long till you get bored of everything? See Civilization. Oh yeah, no, I'm not advocating for immortality at all. I think that cheapens the experience of life in many ways. Wow, we're getting philosophical here today, guys. But like back in the day when, like, even like biblical times and stuff, when the life expectancy for like dying of like old age and stuff was like you're lucky if you get to like age 50. And now, if you're healthy, you're gonna live till 100 and beyond, right? So you doubled life expectancy in the last, you know, however many years. What if we doubled it again? What if we were able to live till 200 for 200 years, right? Like the elves. I think that would be awesome. Now there's going to be some huge implications on like the economy and workforces and availability of resources and things like that. If everybody were able to live twice as long.
Gods be praised.
But that's essentially what has happened.
We done?
Within the times of humanity, which is like a speck of dust in the grand scheme of things. Oh, gear is slang for steroids. See, that shows you how out of the loop I am. I can keep up with the philosophical talk, but like the slang for it, I'm not in on. Quality of life. There you go. That's the other thing, is it's not always so much about how long you're living. It's about how good those years are that you're alive. I don't know. I think it's dangerous to put like labels on these. I mean, we need labels for the world to go around because we need to be able to have enforceable laws and things like that.
Good luck out there.
But many of these arguments that a lot of people try to take black and white stances on end up being very, very nuanced.
Take a good
and require
look
a lot more
I'm sure you'll
deliberation
find what you're looking for. If not, let me know. Welcome to
than what a lot of
Warlock.
people expect.
Looking to protect yourself or deal some damage? Good doing business with you.
I was there, Gandalf, 3,000 years ago. The day the strength men failed. Yep. Yep. Well, that's kind of how, like, the balance of population worked out for the elves, right? It's like their birth rates are super, super slow. So, like, the resource issue doesn't become a thing because they're not reproducing.
I'm sure you'll find what you're looking. Hello, friend.
As quickly as
in the market.
a race that has
I've got just what you need.
Lower lifespan. And I feel like that's how it is in like most fiction, right? Because that's basically the only way to solve the problem of having a finite number of resources for people who live like a really long time. Like Mass Effect did it with those blue dudes and the dinosaur-looking dudes. I don't remember their names. Elrond lives that long by juicing, does 500 push-ups a day while screaming. Is keeping that tea up.
I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for. If not, let me know.
Living longer might force humanity to look at some decisions we make. We have to see the impact of what we do. Yeah, and that's
We've got
why
small weapons as well as big. The finest weapons in armor.
I'm usually never in favor of policy changes that are huge and sweeping and done right away. It's like, okay, progress does need to be made. We need to... Oh god, now I'm just getting into political discussions. Oh boy, talking about steroids and now politics. We need to keep up with the world, but we need to make sure we're not doing it in a way that's destructive. Is all I'm gonna say about that. Hey, Skyrim. Skyrim's pretty good, right? Actually, I think we've all handled this conversation extremely well. I'm proud of you guys, you know? Really proud of you guys. We're having like this constructive conversation. Nobody's at each other's necks.
Indeed.
Brings a tear to my eye almost. I can change,
one of your relatives
and you can change. We can all change.
Yeah, that's trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing.
Drinks are on me. There we go. Or drinks are in you this time. Icarus is already drinking. There you go. I know what you meant, Icarus. I just had to call you out. Oh, okay. Wow, this is very boring. All this crafting and selling stuff. Where am I at? 14,000? Okay, we're getting pretty close. Let's, we'll tap out Elithor in here, and maybe we'll look at, see if the Khajiit are in town, and if not, we'll head to Morthal and get some Valiant training. What time is it? 1 o'clock, just about. All right. Making good progress, I think.
Let me know if you need anything, or take a seat by the fire, and I'll send someone over.
Okay, I have 0 dropped frames, so it wasn't on my end. You probably had a little blip in your internet there. This is what happened when 1,000 subscribers. Can't be critical of steroids when you chug a 40. Yes, exactly. Ma Pinland, good point. I mean, basically any alchemical character in Skyrim is a juicer. You know who else is big into steroids? Geralt of freaking Rivera. No. Geralt of Riveria? I think it's just Rivera, right?
Take a look.
Geraldo Rivera. Tried to do a hot take there and just ended up stumbling on my words. That's why I could never be a pundit. 1 petty soul gem is all you got for me?
And the braggart did swagger and brandish his blade as he told of bold battles and gold he had made. But
Captain America, another juicer. Rivia. Not Rivera. Rivia. Yeah, basically the Witchers took so many steroids that it altered their DNA, right? And now they're just permanently stronger for it. Hey, Capri. Welcome.
Got something for just about everybody in here. Give a holler if you have any questions. You just let me know what you need. Take a look.
I want to see if he has any, like, soul gems here that we can use. The Trial of Grasses, indeed. Yeah, we're talking, Capri, about the ethical use of steroids. We're talking about the ramifications of immortality. And we started to touch on politics, too, so... Trigger warnings. No. It was all good. All good. I get a little antsy when you start having conversations like this on the internet. Okay, so right now we are trying to sell off all this loot so that we can make money to buy conjuration training from Thalion, of which we are such high level at the moment.
It's a shame.
The training is extremely high cost. So we're doing the whole crafting, selling loop thing right now, and we're right about at the end of it because we have a good stack of septums that might be able to get at least a few levels of training before we hit level 50. And then we'll continue on with the Dragonborn questline because we want to make Uncle Hermaeus Mora happy. Khajiit Drunken Juicer, cool build. Yes. Oh, speaking of Street Fighter 6, Jamie, he's a drunken boxer.
Divine smile on you.
Basically just drinks steroids the entire match. Actually, I played some of that character last night. It was really cool. Loving the new characters in that game. Yeah, that's way too much. We'll go for the 256.
Take care of yourself now.
You take care of yourself, Farengar. He's so polite these days. Little offhand mention about how I'm more suited to mundane tasks than he is, but ever since then, he's been a bro. Sprint jump for the win. Okay, just gonna check the Khajiit caravans, see if they're there. If not, then we'll just go ahead and head over to Morthal. What time is it? 11:32. We're probably just gonna miss Valion's business hours, but if we just have to chill in Morthal for a little bit, that's fine. Bane was the ultimate juicer in Batman, yeah. I think Bane, he was using his mask as, that was painkillers, right? Because of his disfigurement, caused him constant pain all the time, so that was basically just anesthesia. Which could be a performance enhancer if you can't feel pain, right? Chilling in Morthal is a punishment. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Let's see, no Khajiit. Alright, let's go to Morthal. Oh. Oh, are we hungry, thirsty? Both? Indeed. In fact, we slept all night, didn't eat or drink anything. I haven't had any brook bass yet, right? My character's starting to sound like me pre-stream, coughing and clearing my throat. Just watch one Riftengard kill 3 Imperial soldiers at once. Ah, the Empire stands no chance against the Stormcloaks, right? Meeting Alva as a vampire makes for interesting conversation. Does it? I didn't know that. That's the vampire discussion is going to be another one. I'm trying to keep this build reined in in terms of scope, so that we can have like a unique, novel like identity for this build, created around specific gameplay styles. What time is it? 12:23. We might be able to still catch Valiant. I think he's active from 8 to 12, but sometimes he stays a little late or opens a little early, so we're right there. He's still home. That's good.
If you're here to purchase, I have many spells. My talents are much needed here in order. You deal with powerful forces. Take care they do not overwhelm.
Yeah, 400 or 4,020, 250. But we still have stuff that we can sell him, though. I forgot that he's a vendor. That's gonna help. We got enough for one more skill level here.
Powerful forces. Take care they do not overwhelm you.
Oh, 2 more levels to 90. In fact, I can go ahead and just level up now because that's not going to matter. 2 levels, and that does it for training. And then we'll still have crafting to do, but it's actually more cost efficient to just buy crafting materials like soul gems and like leather and iron ingots, steel and stuff like that, and just to level organically. Much more cost effective to do it that way than to pay for training, especially at higher levels. The usual for me, coughing with brutal coughs all the time because of having bronchitis 4 times. Ouch. Are you one of those asthma guys too, like Tom is? Yeah, my brother struggled with asthma too, and he's always had issues with allergies and coughs and everything. It's just like some people just drew a bad hand with the lungs. Sorry about that, James. There is a downside to immortality. If I recall correctly, the Snow Elves went to war against the Nords due to them growing too quickly and destroying much of the natural landscapes. The Nords or the Snow Elves were being too destructive, because I feel like once you're immortal, sustainability becomes like an extremely high priority, right? So if you have somebody coming in like tearing things apart like some industrious minded humans, that's basically like the death sentence for your species. All right, what are we doing here? 49, so that's stamina. And then level 50 would be stamina too. Okay. So for conjuration, we do still need to get to level 90 for that, so that I can take Covenant of Cold Harbor, which is a big one. This will give us an additional 30% of magicka resistance removal if I control Daedra or another undead, non-undead minion, which I'm already in that boat for March of Oblivion, no, Edge of Oblivion. So I need to have a Daedra around me all the time, or a non-undead minion, which is what warlock summons are. So we're already committed to that. I just need 2 more points in conjuration to get that, and then conjuration's going to be complete. Destruction's already complete. We're good. We just need raw power and dual casting. Might think about doing something like Harsh Lesson, but I don't think we really need it if our archery level is high enough. We'll be able to get through a ward with a bound arrow, no problem. Enchanting, we need twin enchantments. Oh, and the arcane nexus. Definitely want that for powered up enchantments. And then I think enchanting is good to go. Enchanting is complete. Smithing is already complete. We only needed steel smithing to craft the Nemesis armor. Once we got the Nemesis armor, we're good to go there. We can get extra tempering ability if I take another perk here, but we can more than make up for that with enchanting and alchemy. Archery is complete. All good to go on archery, and that's at level 100 too, so that's awesome. Basically, Lion's Arrow was the main one we wanted to get there, and things that make our shots faster, our draw speed faster. Might be able to invest more in the light armor tree, but we're already as good as we're going to get as far as protection goes. So not really anything else to take here, except for maybe Lightning Strike is great for critical strikes, and then things like War Dancer and Spell Dancer. Just have to see how the perks fall on that. I'm gonna have to be doing some deliberation on that, because we don't really need to move any faster. War Dancer is great for more damage output, but we're not really having that much of an issue with damage output. More would be nice, always. Alchemy, we can always spend more in alchemy. For things like Green Thumb and Double Toil and Trouble, we can get more ingredients and create more potions, which is very important for this build because of like resistances and damage output and things like that. We need alchemy to fill in the gaps, especially for an Altmer with Imperious. All right, so we have our training. How's Encumbrance doing? I think I want to make one more stop for selling some stuff off here. May as well just go to Windhelm, I guess. Then we can take the boat to Solstheim from there. Going back to the hoplite discussion, I would do the classic sword and board build plus speech. Oh, that's going to be, if I'm going to do that based off of Marisa from Street Fighter 6, that's going to be more of an unarmed build, more of a Pancration style build than an actual like a Spartan style build with like the sword and board and stuff. Now I could do a classic sword and board Imperial build, but I think that would be a separate build. If I'm doing something inspired from Street Fighter, I want there to be some martial arts involved in it, you know? Speech would be good though. Illusion, enchanting would be good because I think Marisa in Street Fighter 6 is actually a jeweler. She's kind of like a fashionista a little bit. And she makes jewelry and things like that. So that would be useful and actually also fit the theme as well with like speechcraft and stuff like that. So I'm with you there. And illusion as well, yeah. Not with asthma, just technically high risk. Oh, okay. That would be a cool build. Dig your name. All hail the Yellow King. And it was all yellow. Okay, let's fast travel to the stables. We might be able to hit some Khajiit caravans. Khajiit caravans with the AE edition is a little OP. They have very strong CC added alchemical ingredients and some other like crafting materials and stuff that you can't get anywhere else. So with the AE content installed, I always make it a point to look for Khajiit caravans because they also have like quests and stuff that kick off specifically from them. All the OP alchemical ingredients. We're also going to need some... Oh, I don't even have the money for that. Okay. I know this is captivating footage, but it's all very core to the build, I assure you. And I try not to cheat too much in terms of progression for these builds, because I feel like when you are fleshing out a build concept, it really helps to know how feasible and effective the build is at any level during the play, and what the strengths and weaknesses of the build are and are going to be. So I try not to just artificially increase my progression too much. So doing it the old-fashioned way through training and crafting is kind of key to how I do builds.
May your road lead you to warm sands.
Warm sands to you as well, my furry friend. In fact, Hoster's build sounds a lot like a knight, a classic Oblivion knight build, maybe with a little bit of alchemy added in. But yeah, a knight is heavy armor. They can wield both one-handed and two-handed weapons. They're skilled in block, but just the only differentiating factor between them and a warrior that has all the warrior skills is that instead of smithing, they have illusion. So if we're looking for like an Imperial Knight or something, I think that would fit in very nicely.
I think I've got a handle on it, but Orichalcum is confusing.
Everyone said the finest weapons and armor.
Good night from London. Moximorta 100, welcome, and good night to you as well. Are you saying good night as a goodbye, or are you saying good night as a greeting there? Might need some elven arrows. Well, no, we don't. I think we established in the Bard permadeath that we're gonna get as many elven arrows as we need to fight Harkon if and when we get there.
Exactly.
I don't haggle. If you want...
Some may call
I
this
don't
junk.
ogle.
Me, I call them treasures.
Just had 5th COVID vaccination a week ago. Yeah, I think I stopped at 3 or 4. I don't even know if they offer them anymore here for people who aren't high risk. But yeah, I got my first one, got my second one, which was a booster, and then got the third one after that. And I got COVID once, and it was extremely mild. It was like nothing. I didn't have to stop working or anything. In fact, it was much more mild than any cold I had in recent memory. So for me, the vaccines worked great. The boosters worked fine. It was kind of a non-issue, and now anymore I feel like
Thank you for your custom.
transmission rates where we are low enough that it's not really as much of a concern unless you're high risk, which I think you said you were put into that category as well. Okay, almost there for another skill level in Conjuration. Let's head back to Solstheim now. Oh, actually, let's hit up Saudri's used wares, sell off whatever else we have left in our inventory, then we'll head back to Solstheim and continue that quest. Still never had any, got COVID only once, and it was only bad for 2 days, not the worst thing I've ever had. Not vaccinated myself, was asymptomatic when I had it, still alive and
Give a
kicking.
holler if you have any
Yeah.
questions.
It was just always kind of the luck of the
my
draw,
good
right?
Take
I
a
think
look.
most of us probably knew people who had a real bad time from it. Actually knew some people who died from it. I mean, I wasn't close to them or anything, but I had a coworker, a former coworker who died from it. My wife had a coworker who died from it.
Do come again.
Who was actually healthy otherwise, and had some family members who were hospitalized with it, and also knew some people who never even got sick from it. Oh, you trying to chase me down? No, okay. All right, back to Solstheim. Sold off everything we have, I think, which was the goal. No, I agree. I mean, I always thought that more people should have taken it, and I was in favor of programs like paying people to get it. But I was never in favor of mandating that people got it.
Get him!
Do I use NAT? I'm using Ruby ENB. Okay, here we go. How are the guards faring against the ash spawn? Pretty well, actually. Not bad. Oops. Okay, my hotkey is not working.
Done.
That was a pretty gruff voice from a non-undead Redoron there. I thought there were 3 spawn, but I'm only seeing 1 or 2 ash piles. Some valuable crafting ingredients in there. Okay, where am I headed now? We are going to Saring's Watch. Okay, so we're gonna have a... Is this a double dragon fight or only 1 dragon? Might only be 1 dragon, but a lot of Draugr. What kind of fish are those?
I've killed a dragon or two in
It's
my
like catfish.
day. The secret
Oh, it's
is
a cod.
to stay in one of their blind spots, right around.
Always helpful to know for like that fishing quest, the fishing quest line. There are some really powerful artifacts you get from that quest line. But it helps to know where these fish spawn so you can just go catch them the old-fashioned way, other than just waiting for them to... bite your hook, you know? Rudy EMB put out the new EMB with NAT is free. I'm losing something there in translation, Moxie Morta. Sorry. There's a new version of Rudy EMB with NAT? I thought NAT and Ruby were two different EMBs. Uh-oh, we're gonna get a flight passenger here?
Touch the sky like a dragon. It's working. I'm flying.
JetBlue passenger? There it is. Oh. I guess you didn't pay for the landing fee. Take your stuff, though. It's worth a lot. Sorry, Magus. Gotta kill the fox. I need the souls. I hate you so hard right now. I knew you weren't gonna like it. I need the souls and I need the fox eyes also are good for something I need. Don't remember exactly what. Bengongorica. Uh-oh, I just got fired. Okay, let's do the lab skeever thing. This is going to be a tough fight. We're going to definitely need some elemental resistance. You sure that's not American? They all suck now. They're all terrible. Especially for a tall guy. It's like legroom is shrinking and shrinking with each new plane that they put out. And now it's gotten to the point where some airlines, the planes on them, they don't even... They'll charge you extra for an exit row that's supposed to have extra legroom, but it doesn't have any more legroom on it, so you're just paying extra money for the responsibility of sitting in an exit row. It's starting to become very expensive to fly as a tall guy, so then you gotta shell out for, you know, like first class or something like that, and that's like orders of magnitude higher than like a regular class ticket. You have Rudy for NAT. I thought NAT was another ENB. I didn't know you could run. Was there like a Rudy reshade for the NAT, or is NAT stand for something different? NAT, when I used it, was an ENB, so it would be fundamentally incompatible with Rudy. NAT stood for natural atmospheric. Oh, great. Here we go. Natural atmospheric Tamriel. And you would either use NAT or you would use Rudy, but you couldn't use both. So I don't know if Rudy's just integrating features from NAT, or if NAT stands for something different in this case. Or maybe I'm completely confused. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Which could be the case. No witch bolts? Oh, it's... yeah, some stupid auto aims.
Don't you get it? You've already lost.
Ancient Dragon's gonna hit hard. Nice. Magister goes boom. Okay, he's grounded now. Almost there. The Magister's really keeping up with that elemental strike too. Okay, nice.
Do you ever wonder?
The Magister's probably the guy to use against dragons.
One soul ripped out like that.
Oh, you thief! You soul thief!
One step closer.
To have your soul ripped out like that? No, I never considered it. The warlock doesn't really consider the thoughts and feelings of others. He's all about increasing his own power by any means necessary. Ah, crap, I gotta drop some stuff now. NAT has 2 weather plugins as well as separate ENBs for each. There's the original NAT and NAT 3, everything done by looping. You can use other ENBs with NAT weathers too. Okay, so yeah, there was just more to NAT other than the ENB. I only ever just used the ENB, I think. All right, what are we kabooming now? Oh, I see ya. Really? That didn't kill you? Now I got a spirit bound, so let's get a powered up Magister out. Okay, ouch, okay. Alright, armor is holding up pretty well. That's a lower level Draugr though. Probably a restless Draugr. Yeah, restless. Ooh, and a chest. Cut that dragon down, indeed. Okay. Where's the staircase I'm looking? There it is. Take the fat, that's for sure. Tasty. Okay, we got the first Bend Will shout. I'm not sure if I have a dragon soul to unlock it with. Ooh, nice shot. One of these days, I'm actually gonna get a hit from that juggle there, and it's gonna be epic. He was dead. I think I did hit him with that, but he was dead already.
Yes.
Yes, they can. They can be very useful, James. That is from the Hunterborn SE mod. It's got paralysis, lingering damage, health, so you could put this in a potion with an imp stool and you'll have a very powerful potion, a poison indeed. Resist fire is nice also. And it's not an option that is enabled by default. You actually have to go into the MCM for that and enable corporeal dragons, I believe, and then you can actually field dress and harvest a dragon like any other animal in the game. I should do like a Hunterborn guide at some point because there's a lot of stuff in there that people just don't use it for. Oh, there we go, I got one. Very nice. Oh, that's my favorite thing. Oh, get him again? Oh, I let him too much. He's still alive. Oh, that's so much fun. All right, Magister might be my new favorite. They're not very good meat shields, but they can be a lot of fun. No Eldritch pages in any of these. Well, that's a bummer. Did get a lot in the Temple of Mirak, though. Why are you also... I play with... I've used Hunterborn, but rarely play with Hunterborn. Oh yeah, I love Hunterborn because mostly because of the alchemical ingredients. I like for alchemy characters to have access to alchemical ingredients, like expanded alchemical ingredients from animals that you kill. Yes. Things like eyeballs and hearts and bear fat and things like that are all awesome. That being said, the ingredients that you get in Hunterborn end up creating much more powerful potions and poisons than the vanilla ingredients, with exception to the Anniversary Edition stuff that gets added to the Khajiit caravans. Those are very strong too. They're about on the same level. But there's also a hidden quest in Hunterborn for some pretty nice powers and abilities that you can get. The scrimshaw crafting is also kind of fun. You can craft armor and weapon from the bones of the animals that you kill and harvest. But also, it has a mortar and pestle so that you can craft potions on the fly whenever you want. And with Ordinator, that means you can also trigger the Lab Skeever perk. Which makes potions last 15 times longer and become 25% stronger when you drink them. So those are all the reasons why I use Hunterborn. I've used Hunterborn, but nowhere near what's available in it, which I think is how most people are. I'd love to see your guide. Yeah, nice. Good video idea anyway. It's problematic because I play on Xbox One at this point. Okay. There's not a Hunterborn for Xbox One? I think there is, but it might not have the option available for corporeal dragons, right? Alright, do I have a soul to unlock? I do have 2 souls, great. Bend Will. Nice. Hey, there's Gray Sky. Hunterborn is a mainstay in my... Yeah, me too. Hunterborn is on Xbox One as well as Scrimshaw. Very nice.
Our eyes once were blind.
Oh crap, I'm not even ready yet. These lurkers might be tough. Be sure not to hit the skull with the witch bolt.
It's a shame it was necessary.
Armor rating increase. That could be a good one. That could be a good one. Armor rating at 304. We get increased armor rating in combat if we wield a bound bow. I believe I have a perk in the conjuration tree that does that. Dark Whispers. Bound weapons include a battle rage in their wielder, granting 20% extra attack damage and 100 points of armor rating for 5 seconds when a target is struck. So for 5 seconds, after hitting someone with a bound bow, I have a 100 point increase in armor rating, which is excellent. Which is also sorely needed because, oh, I guess I'm at 404 when that buff is actually active. So just going around taking the Nightshade because it's good for fortified destruction potions. Cool idea to cover Hunterborn and associated mods. This one agrees. Yes. Oh, don't you worry. I've been listening since the beginning of the stream. Oh, good. Some extensive steroid talk in there. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, it became a steroid stream for a while there, didn't it? Been loving Gray Sky and Magus screenshots. Beautiful. Yeah, Gray Sky and Magus, very adept at their screen archery there. Enjoy seeing what Sorcery Magus gets up to with his game's looks. Yes. You can always count on Magus for a dark mage character, and he does a good job building his entire loadout around something like that, including like visuals and stuff like that. He's always got this dark, foreboding, sort of magical, mysterious vibe going. It's good stuff. You can't get the MCM with, yeah, right, okay. Further scripted commands, yeah, anything with SKSE you can't get on Xbox. That's the major downfall there. But there might be a separate version of Hunterborn SC with corporeal dragons enabled by default. That's one option that there is. That's often why you see so many like duplicate, seemingly duplicate mods for Xbox. Is without the MCM option, you have to have a separate mod for each option. Where am I going? Oh, it's too dark. I couldn't see anything. Gotta talk to Storn again. Yes, Storn. Oh, Magus made had a new armor drop.
You have prevailed.
I want to go check it out.
I can feel it. So it is. You have proven yourself an ally to the Skull, and so the Skull shall be allies to you.
First of two today, 2 in 1 day?
If you have released
Crazy
the
person.
Windstone and broken the hold on my people, perhaps you can...
Once I get through this dialogue, we'll check it out on stream here.
Stop whatever Mirak is doing, but it may... I cannot help with that. None here can. You will need the knowledge Mirak himself learned. You will need to learn more about this black book.
Oh, does this mean I have to do another character concept based off of another one of Magus's armor sets?
This does not look like it is a dark.
Have to do a necromancer this time?
Seek him out to the south. Be cautious, Dragonborn. There is something else at work here. Allmaker, shelter you.
Some clipping. Yeah, I don't think anybody really minds a little bit of clipping. So yeah, there is some clipping on the Nemesis set here too. You have to look very, very closely, but the hood doesn't quite match up with the neck of the armor. You get a little bit through the back of it, just very teensy bit there. But unless you're looking for it, you're never gonna see it. And even like vanilla armor pieces, they clip with each other too. So I wouldn't worry about it, Magus.
We're nearly out of coal again.
I could travel to Raven Rock and purchase some more.
Okay, let's go check out this new armor set Magus did.
Give her the chance to trade.
Oh, dang, look at that. Very magey. Dang, that looks cool. I like the color scheme, the kind of white and black and gray. I'm guessing this looks like light armor again. I like the hand wraps. The hand wraps are very underutilized, I think. And the foot pieces with the shin guards, that's very cool too. The scroll for some flair. That's a very cool, that's another very cool like warlock styled set. Much like the Nemesis, but like a different color scheme, obviously. A little more scholarly, adventure-like, I think. Yeah, light armor again, it looks like. Oh, you're just calling it the Magus set? I like that. Outfit studio, huh? Oh, look who's learning. Look who's learning. Guess you can teach an old dog new tricks, huh? And it's a mashup of Enderall. I thought some of it looked very familiar to the Black Mage stuff. I haven't played Enderall, but yeah, good for a Necro for sure. I like it. Well done, Magus. Magus leveling up his armor smithing game.
First.
Yeah. It's another build concept there. All right, so now we just have to go around. We got to go talk to Nelith about these black books and cleanse the stones. Before we do that, though, let's see. I got about 20 minutes left on the stream. Let's go to Apocrypha. Let's try to make Uncle Hermie happy.
False alarm. It was one of mine. Don't worry. Things are safe with me.
If aren't the Black Mage set? I don't know about Xbox. For robes only, I would say something like Divine Elegance. I don't know if you're looking for unarmored robes. Divine Elegance has a lot of cool unarmored options, but I'm not sure if they have that for Xbox. That might be running into file size limits for their mods. It gives the robes option too instead of just the armor. Nice. Okay, cool. So keep a lookout for that. Right, Black Book time. Let's do this first. Actually, I may not even need Lab Skeever for this. Let's check our needs though to make sure we're not at Edge of Oblivion, which is fine. All right, Apocrypha ho. Okay, that Daedric pull is rough, so let's go ahead and get our Magisters out and ready for action. More triumphant music. So if you ever want to play a scroll mage, having access to Apocrypha is almost a must because you can find scrolls all over the place. Apocrypha is a great source of scrolls. If you don't have like some kind of mod that allows you to craft them. Yeah, there's a huge audience out there for console modding. It's enormous, which, you know, comes with its own challenges too. A crowd that size is almost always unruly. And you end up spending more time babysitting than you want, for sure. But you're almost always gonna reach more people who appreciate it than not. It's just the people who use the mod and are having a good time with it and not having any problems and aren't a pain in the ass aren't gonna talk to you.
I am Hermes Mora, Prince of Fate.
Oh, this is funny. Okay, so I haven't actually came to Apocrypha before doing the
Apocrypha,
Septimus quest first. So he does this whole spiel here instead of at the outpost. Interesting. I've never seen this. Side note, the beard is looking epic. Oh, thanks. I actually had a dream that I accidentally shaved it off last night, and I was very upset.
Welcome.
One of these days, I feel like I'm just gonna buzz it all down and start all over. And it's gonna make my wife very happy because she does not appreciate the beard as much as you find people do. It's a lot of work too. I have a special soap and a special conditioner that I use for it, and a special face soap to use for the skin under. I have a special oil that I use on it to keep it moistened and from drying out, and then I also have a special, like, it's almost like a, oh my god! Kidding me? One hit from those tentacles and I'm down?
Must be calm.
Altmer, man. Altmer's tough. Altmer is tough to play if you're going to be mixing it up in any way, shape, or form. If I ever try to do like an Altmer warrior or something, that's going to be a rough go of it. Yes, thank you, Haster. Likes and subscriptions actually is what we're looking for most. Subscribing to the channel is the best way to help me out right now. I am very close to that 1,000 subscriber mark where a lot of things get opened up for the channel, so that would help me a whole bunch. I try not to shill for it too much. Try not to be obnoxious with it, but a lot of times if you don't ask for it, people won't do it. They're free clicks. They help me out a lot. Okay, so Apocrypha is going to be a challenge, especially if those tentacles are one-shotting me back to Nirn. Back to the mortal realm. Looking forward to the LOTR build. Oh, nice. Yeah, I saw that post earlier today before I started streaming. I like the, that's the Breton Knight armor, right, from ESO that you were sporting. That's a cool armor, especially with the HDT physics in it. Oh, crap. No! Gotta be careful with that. Okay, the Ravagors might be the way to go with the summons on this. I can't be taking the brunt of these magical attacks from the Seekers. Although looks like the Magisters did take care of this Seeker up here without me even knowing he was there. Probably while I was talking to Uncle Hermie. So as far as the build concept goes, we are just about there. The last thing we need to do, we need 1 or 2 more levels, probably just 1 more level in Conjuration at this point. Yeah, 1 more level in Conjuration and we're very close. And then we can take Covenant of Cold Harbor, which reduces magicka resistance of enemies that we hit with our bow by an extra 30%, so it should be 60% total, which is crazy, which is going to make those witch bolts do a lot more damage over time, which means faster access to powered up summons, which is great. Okay, boneless limbs. Oh, and I think that there's a... I think I already went over here. I think I checked this one already. Yeah. No wonder wife happy beard. So 30 minutes in the shower then? I try to do it quickly, but yeah, if I also have to like shampoo my hair and wait for the conditioner on both my hair and my beard, then that's a long shower night for sure. No, I do not have a Patreon. Mostly, I'm not looking for a side hustle. I'm just looking for, this is a hobby for me. I do my best to try to get, I want to learn how to use YouTube more effectively, and if it becomes a side hustle, then that's great. But in terms of reach and everything, once YouTube can start running ads on your channel, which happens at 1,000 subscribers, they start promoting your videos a lot more. Okay, I need magic resistance. We'll do some fortify destruction, and I wonder if I have fortify archery. I think I do. Just don't have it favorited. So once you hit that 1,000 subscriber mark and you're ad friendly, I'm not sure if I am with all the steroid and politics talk from earlier. Then YouTube will start pushing your videos a lot more. And I think in terms of build guides and all that, I think my content, it stands up to the more powerful builders, or not the more powerful, the more popular build channels on YouTube. I think my builds go toe-to-toe easily with like Fudge Muppet, and even Bellasaurus. So I feel like there's still an audience for it out there. It is kind of a niche game, modded Skyrim. But people seem to really like Skyrim builds, even if they don't actively play Skyrim anymore. So I feel like there is still lots of room for growth on the channel. Mora has a very Cthulhu vibe. Yes, indeed. He's very Lovecraftian, and I think that that's exactly what he was inspired from. With all the tentacles and the dark sauce and everything. Saucy. Easy to get turned around in this place. For sure, you gotta remember all the twists and turns here. I think I gotta go back down to chapter 2. I don't think anything else opened up over here. Do I like the... I've seen people play it. I haven't played it myself. I've seen people play it, and I do like the concept of it. For me, it ends up being a little too... It's a little overreaching, in my opinion, which is why I don't run things like CACO anymore. Just because it becomes a patching nightmare. But eventually, I might integrate it into my mod list at some point. I don't know. It's just... My mod list is already pretty heavy for my tastes, I think. I think I'm approaching somewhere around 800 mods, which is very light compared to a lot of people. Okay, I've already been here. Where am I going? I have no idea what I'm doing or where I'm going. Skypothesis? Yeah, Skypothesis has... They're unmodded. So they have a little bit... They do a little bit... They have a little bit of a different theme, a little bit of a different target audience. There is a lot of major overlap for sure. But they're very focused on roleplay and things like that, and with their special moves or whatever they call them. I call them gameplay combos. They do have some interesting synergies that they explore, and they do a lot with the vanilla game, right? I use mods to do a whole lot of heavy lifting in terms of buildcraft, and I tend to be focused more on gameplay mechanics and things like that. I feel like I'm going the wrong way. Chapter 1. No, okay. I'm missing something here. I'm channeling my inner wind right now. I need a Skyrim GPS, which means I should just head for Helgen, I think, right? Yeah, they do. I think a lot of them are in college, a university. I heard something moving around when I took that last book. It's been several months. Yeah, their seasons seem to be getting shorter too. I mean, I feel like they used to do like 4 or 5 builds per season, and now they're doing like 2 or 3 builds per season. Okay, it just opened. I gotta go farther here. It just opened up that same corridor that the scry was on. And their seasons, they tend to be farther in between too. It's like they're only doing like 1 season per year now. I'm sure they'll have another season at some point, probably sooner than later. But what they also do is they have all of their builds and their videos pre-cooked when they start the season so that they can maintain a weekly release. So when they start a season, they're already basically done with that season. Which is why another reason why they go silent. But yeah, they're great builders. I love their builds. My favorites, though, have to be Belisarius. What he does, the synergies that he finds are just incredible. And Kruger also. I like Kruger a whole lot. His builds, he leans a little more heavily on the mods for his for adding like a unique identity to his character concepts, a lot like I do. And in fact, I think the Kruger builds are probably the closest equivalent you can get to what my build guides are, and his are very few and far between too. Mine take forever. I think I was shocked to find that my astrologer build was 5 to 6 months ago, and that was the last build I did before the Triumvirate Druid. I need to get back on that. I need to be better about having builds come out more regularly, because that's way too long. But the way I do these builds, they take a long time, right? And I feel like Kruger is the same way. So that's why I've switched from permadeath to doing these more like live buildcraft streams. Ouch. Okay. Oh, there was a seeker right there ambushing me. Yep. No! The dodge got me. I thought I had room. All right, it's 2 o'clock. We didn't make it. Oh well, it was fun. All right, that's got to be the end of it though, guys. Thank you for joining me. Woo, that's a fast camera speed. Okay. Thank you all for joining me for another Buildcraft stream. I don't know next week if we're going to be doing Nemesis again. I think I might want to focus on Nemesis until we get him complete, like concept complete. Next week, I should have his levels and everything taken care of, but we need to focus on endgame gear, standing stone, and shouts. And maybe look at some like roleplay aspects and things like that.
Yes.
So that would keep us busy for a stream next weekend. Otherwise, we'll do Scorpion again, and we'll try to progress him to figure out more things, or maybe we'll try a new concept like the Stiger, Stormcloak Assassin, or the Imperial Juggernaut, or the Stormhawk, Shaman, Tomahawk Shaman. We'll see. We'll see what I have time to spin up in the meantime, but it'll probably be the Nemesis build again. We'll see. There is a new Scorpion episode coming out Wednesday. It's already locked and loaded, scheduled for release at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, my time. And he's starting to come into his own a little bit, since he's expanded from just punches and kicks to now swords and whips. It kind of rhymed a little bit. It sounded awesome. His gameplay variety is increased, and he's been a lot more fun to watch, in my opinion, anyway. So look forward to that. And yeah, I'll see you guys all next weekend. Oh yeah, check out the link in the description below for the Nemesis armor. Good stuff there. And also do look around in the links of the description below too for some really good, talented content creators that many of whom are in the chat today. Icarus, The Wind, Magus. The Wind and Magus both stream on Twitch, so go leave them a follow. Icarus has an awesome YouTube channel where he explores a lot of character concepts, and he has pretty much a daily upload. So if you're starved for Skyrim content, that's your channel. Go leave him a subscription. Loved watching Bellasaurus and PC Outcast when they were, yeah. PC's good at builds too, but he's been mostly focused on streams lately, which I don't blame him. They're a lot easier to set up. Just click connect and go. Thanks for the shout out too. Yeah, hey, no problem. Yeah, speeding toward the to the end of this build, and we'll do a build guide on it too. And I'm hoping that's a nice, that produces a lot of traffic for Magus's armor in that build guide too. All right, I think that does it for me. Everybody have a great weekend. Okay, take care of yourselves, be safe, happy Skyrimming, and I will see you next time. All right.